Hello, beautifuls. What is your least favorite emotion? Why? How is it that much different than your favorite emotion? The topic of emotions is a sensitive and difficult topic for many people. Understanding the how and why seems to be this mystical process, and that is for another video. But to add to the complexity of our emotions and our emotional experiences is our beliefs. We, each individual, has attached beliefs to our emotions. And even though many of those beliefs are underlying or subconscious, whether we are aware of them or not, those beliefs greatly impact our quality of life and our happiness, our ability to be happy. Some of the beliefs that are common, that I will just touch on here, that affect us are the belief that the only emotion that is acceptable is to be happy. Studies have proven that people who hold that belief actually are less happy because they struggle to live up to their own expectation to always be happy and to maintain a happy emotion, which all of us know life is not perfect. There will be ups and there will be downs. And so if we are fighting the idea that anything but happy is acceptable, we are going to be challenged. Another popular one is that anger is bad or unacceptable. And so for people who hold that belief, they tend to suppress it. And they suppress it as long as they can, and then usually it comes out irresponsibly. It squirts out sideways. Or maybe they're really good at repressing, but what happens is they become ill physically. Studies have shown that if we can reframe our beliefs and understand that emotions are necessary, both pleasant and unpleasant, they provide for us information, valuable information about our surroundings and our well-being. When we are able to do that, to accept that we will have pleasant and unpleasant emotions and that they are necessary, studies have shown that we experience less unpleasant emotion, even in times of elevated stress. That overall, we generally have a more satisfactory life. We have more social supports. We are less prone to depression and anxiety. Some of the other beliefs that are associated with emotions are that they're not controllable and that they are fixed. However, when we hold on to the idea that emotions are not controllable, then we really are controlled by our emotions. We will avoid people, places, and things so as not to feel and experience certain emotions. If we hold the belief that we can completely control our emotions, well, that is not helpful either. And we will find that it shows up in our mental health, in our physical health, because it is simply not helpful to try to 100% control our emotions. So what is the middle ground? The middle ground is to understand that we can manage our emotions. And I want to provide an example here. Have you ever had had a interaction with a friend and they did something or said something where you felt hurt, sad, or angry. And when you took a moment, you were able to look at it a little bit differently and realize that maybe they didn't mean what they said in the way that you interpreted it, or the action wasn't meant to hurt you. And in that space, you were able to change the emotion. That is just one example of how we can manage our emotions. That particular technique that I just talked about there, where we take something that is emotionally elevated and charged, and we can turn it to a less charged emotion, to a more positive aspect. The term for that is called reprisal. And basically, it's reframing. And when we learn to do that, we can understand that we are not at the mercy of our emotions, that there is definitely a need to accept them, which is very different than acting upon them. And in that acceptance, we can also change the way we're feeling, not control, but to manage. When we understand that our emotions are necessary and they can be regulated, that is the place where we are empowered, because no longer are we trying to control them or deny them. And there are many more techniques besides this reprisal or reframe that we can use. One is meditation. Another is mindfulness. And yet we might find at some times our emotions might be so elevated that to regulate we might need professional assistance, and then to reach out to somebody like myself or another therapist that can assist you. The invitation going forward today is to be the witness or the observer to any thoughts and beliefs that accompany the emotions that you experience during the day today, as that will provide for you a powerful insight into what your beliefs are and how you can go about reframing them. Thank you so much for sharing this perspective with me today, and until we speak again, please be well.